Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I want to talk briefly about President Putin's visit to China. They marked 75 years of diplomatic ties and what they call as friendship between the two countries. And it looks like this relationship between the two is getting stronger and stronger. Firstly, last year, 2023, it was the biggest year in terms of trade between China and Russia. In total, they traded between them the value of approximately 240 billion US dollars. And they didn't only discuss economic ties, but also strengthening their military ties as well. Very recently, they had two military drills together, one closer to China, between Russia and China, and one in the Gulf of Oman that included Iran as well. With regards to the international scene, both of them see the US foreign policy as destructive and hostile. This is very evident from the US support of this genocide in Gaza and the hostile support of the corrupt Ukrainian government against Russia that's aimed at the Russian state, by the way, and has nothing to do with the Ukrainian people or the people in the US or Europe, because their support for this corrupt government in Ukraine led to devastating results when it comes to the economy in Europe, and many more countries are now being more split and divided over the position when it comes to Russia, because it wasn't to do with the Ukrainian people. You can clearly see the hypocrisy when it comes to Ukraine and Palestine and how they're supporting Ukraine supposedly for the same reason they're supporting Israel, which is committing acts that are 1,000 times more than what Russia is committing against Ukrainian civilians, by the way, in Gaza. Yet Israel is being enabled, whereas Russia is being fought against. They highlighted the importance of creating a multipolar world order, and that's something that I think both China and Russia have the capacity to increase further and further, especially through the BRICS and with the expansion of the BRICS. We had Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia, and the UAE joining the BRICS in January 2024. And what's happening at the moment really highlights the importance of creating a multipolar world, especially with these recurring vetoes against anything that promotes a ceasefire, for example, in Gaza, and about the position really of most Western governments when it comes to Gaza. It was China and Russia pushing for a ceasefire initially during this genocide, and we could have prevented this level of genocide in Gaza if the other countries actually supported this call. So these countries are liable. They bear the responsibility of this genocide by them going against what Russia and China proposed in terms of a ceasefire. And with regards to the current situation in Palestine and in Gaza in particular, I like to always highlight the difference of approach when it comes to Russia and China, and I spoke about this in my recent live stream, how they speak with the Palestinian movements and how they approach the Palestinian political groups. Where you have the Western powers' arrogance and supremacy and supporting the genocide, saying who should run Gaza, for example, post the war, instead of talking about the state committing a genocide, you had both China and Russia promoting and pushing for a unity amongst the Palestinian political movements. Both of them actually had meetings held in Russia and China that brought all of the Palestinian political groups and pushed them to have more unity, especially with the Palestinian Authority that is aligned more with Israel. And with the meeting in Russia at the time, the Russian foreign minister, his approach with the political movements in Palestine, he told them, I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to approach the political solution. However, I'm here to tell you that if you do have a united front, that would help us in reaching a solution, potentially having a Palestinian state. However, that was met with reluctance and negative approach from the Palestinian Authority, as highlighted by a member of the PFLP at the time during an interview he had in Lebanon that I spoke about previously. These two countries have a more open and understanding approach, and indeed them increasing the ties between them could potentially push for a better and a more multipolar world, away from the US hegemony and the US empire controlling and treating the world as its own little backyard.